Hey everyone, Egman here with another video. Today I've got the 6-0 undefeated Team Wars deck from Jorge Aguilar. He did really well this past weekend for CoreTCG's Team Wars event. Yeah, he reached out to me with this and I really liked it, so I wanted to cover it. Quick shout outs to his teammate BonBon for making this deck for him. He's really wanted to give that shout out, so thanks again to BonBon for making this. But let's jump into it. So if you don't know what this Broly Leaders does, it means you didn't watch my video yesterday, but that's okay, because here we'll go through it again. When this card attacks, you may choose one card in your life and add to your hand. If you do so, draw one card, and then it's an untapped 2-liter. And then on the Awaken side, when this card attacks, draw one. It's not a once per turn, also, which is important because his other two abilities. First is if you choose one of your opponent's battle cards, you can put it to rest mode, which is great. And then also choose one card from your life and add to your hand, and then choose up to one of your cards in rest mode and switch to active mode. So it can be energy, it can be a battle card, it can be himself. So you can essentially draw twice per turn with the attack because it's not once per turn. So really cool there. Just a beast of a leader in general. It's something that I think is really cool for Broly. So and then the main chain in this deck is the Frieza swap chain. So it starts with the 1-drop here. It's a swap into a 2-cost red Frieza, which is only one right now. But also he has an auto. When you play this card from your hand, choose it to one of your red leader or battle cards. Other than this card gives plus 5k power for duration of the turn. Doesn't really do much for this leader, but just kind of starts the swap engine. Then there's the 2-drop, which is a 15k, but it gets minus 5k during your opponent's turn. And it's a swap into a 3-drop for 1 red, and that goes into the Frieza Storm of the Blows. Frieza Storm of Blows. It's a barrier, swaps into the 5-drop with 2 red energy, and then also when you play this card, choose one of your opponent's battle cards with a 20k power or less and KO it. So really good for some removal there. It has barrier and it's 15k, so just really good value, especially just as a 3-drop in general. It's great. And then the fact that you can cheat into it and cheat out of it into the 5-drop, I think it's just very good. So then we have the 5-drop, which is a crit double strike 25k attacker. You can't use its auto because it needs to have a red Frieza's army. But other than that, it's just really great. We're kind of locked into only one leader with this card right now, but I think it's all right. I think just as a 25k double strike crit beat stick, we're fine. Yeah, especially since we can cheat him out as well. I think he's still really good value. It sucks we can't use his ability, but it's still very powerful. So for the rest of the red card package, we've got Body Change Ginyu. So when you play this card, choose all Ginyu Force in your battle area. They gain plus 10k power for the duration of the turn. So that includes himself, so he becomes a 25k the turn he's played. And also play this card in its owner's drop. Place this card in your opponent's battle area with its in its owner's drop area. Play this card in your opponent's battle area from its owner's drop area with its skill negated. Then choose up to one card from your opponent's battle area with 25 power or less. 20k power or less. Other than Body Change Ginyu, gain controller and switch to active mode. Jeez, that is crazy. That is a long text. To really just say, switch this card with one of your opponent's cards and untap it if it's tapped. So very cool interaction there. Just once again, it's just a really big beat stick that kind of gets like pseudo dual attack. You can steal something. I've seen people like steal like Shenrons with this, and then they get to untap 2 energy and then draw a card and just be really powerful. Stuff like that. Ginyu's really cool. I think he's a cool card. And then for the rest of the cards, we've got 2 Furthering Destruction Champa. Just a great card. We're floating a lot of energy because we're Broly. And then also just giving double strike to something to finish the game is great. So 2 of him makes sense. And then we also have 4 of the Unbreakable Super Saiyan Son Goku. We're already red, so worst case he's energy, but just the extra super combo is nice. And yeah, it just, once again, we're floating a lot of energy with this leader, so it makes sense to have a lot of these 10k combos. And then lastly, we have Infernal Violently Cell as the other super combo. We're running all 8. We're running 12 super combos in this deck, which is crazy. But yeah, it's one of these. When you play or combo with this card, draw one. So good there. And then lastly, we kind of have like this little blue side package here with 4 Senzu Bean and 4 Whis' Coercion. Usually I like to have a little bit more blue in this in a build that kind of splashes like this, but Both these cards are really great, and since they have like energy manipulation, I think they're okay. I mean, as long as you see one and put it in your energy area, you can use the rest of them pretty much. You can never, it'll never be like, oh, I tap out or anything, since these just recycle energy. I think they're really good. And then also, since none of these cards rely in the drop area, we're running some Overwhelm cards. Wow, I don't feel like I've talked about Overwhelm cards in a while. So we're running 3 times choice Supreme Kai of Time. So this is Overwhelm for 3. And when you play with Overwhelm, you look at the top 3 cards of your deck, choose 1 battle card among them, add to your hand, and place the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. This is really good for filling out your chain. None of these are searchable, and though we do draw a lot, it's not uncommon to be missing one of your pieces, especially the 3-drop or the 5-drop. We really want those, so being able to kind of extend a search for those is really good. And then even if you whiff, you don't shuffle your deck, they go to the bottom, which is really good for being able to find it later. Like, keep digging deeper in your deck instead of having to shuffle it, so that's nice. And then there's also Scientist Food, just really good value. For 1 energy, you get a 25k double strike that also draws you 2 cards. Like, geez, people, this card was broken when it was made, and it's still broken. Like, people need their drop area, but if they didn't, they'd be running Scientist Food. Like, it's such a good card. So, 1 of those, and then also just 2 Dende and 2 Kami, just to be a little bit more defensive. This is like a mid-range deck where you're just trying to make a lot of value plays, and that's kind of how swap works in general, making a lot of value. But since we can kind of use these to stop either a really rampy deck strategy or just like a storm, like not a storm, but like a deck that storms the field. That's, I guess, how I should say it. So good picks there. Always you can use Chronoa or whatever ones you really, whatever your deck's really afraid of, you can play that. And then lastly, 4 super combos, because we're a good player and we run 4 super combos. And fun fact, we use every color card in the game with this deck, so that's super cool. But yeah, I really do like this deck, and I'm not really surprised that it did well. It seems really strong, really consistent, and able to counter a lot of things with just the stuff that it's running. So I think that's really cool. He asked me to do some cards I kind of suggest, and I had a couple of them in mind. First, for just kind of like the Overwhelm cards, instead of Supreme Kai of Time, we could run Dark Temptation Toa. This one's better in the sense that it's the same card economy, but you get plus 5k combo stuff. But I could see it being less consistent if you're trying to search for your swap pieces. So I think either one's work, but if you want more of kind of a hand destruction fill, definitely consider Dark Temptation Toa. And then also, Scientist Food's great, and but I also thought about Mirror Creative Absorbed, especially with Broly, when you can untap him and then attack with him again. He's got essentially infinite attack power. Like, you can't out-combo this guy when he attacks, because you get so much. Especially the second attack, because you get the same plus, you double your attack pretty much. So, really good friend in the game, especially if you have a Champa in hand. Like, if they can't negate your attack, you just win, right? Like, that's crazy. Really powerful there. It's, once again, only one energy to get him out too, so a very, very good card. And then lastly, kind of a card I was thinking about, since we run so much red, I've thought about running Hit. Foreseeing Hit's, once again, probably one of the best red cards in the game. I'm not sure exactly how late the games go into, but if you're kind of worried about like seeing like Ojita or something like that, I could definitely see Foreseeing Hit. It should at least be in the sideboard. If you're playing against a slower deck and that's more defensive, then play Foreseeing Hit to kind of get those cards out of their hands and really set up for a win. So I think he's a very good addition to this deck, if not in the side, if not the main. So, but in general, I really like this deck. I think it's really solid, and I mean, if you don't change anything, I think you'd still be fine. Yeah, very, very cool. And Jorge wanted me to say, well, let me see. So this is he was for Team Undecided, which got 9th place. And I think I already shouted out BonBon, but just in case I didn't, shout out to BonBon for creating this really cool deck. I think it's really, really creative, and not surprised that it did well. And yeah, this is for a best of 1 Team Wars format, where it went 6-0. If you are interested in what a side deck could look for this deck, let me know, and I could maybe try to give you some suggestions. In general, the cards that I kind of showed earlier, you could think of running. I could see the feature rare Goku being added, especially if you're afraid of kind of like Storm. You should always have Cronoa in your side deck, and Foreseeing Hit, and just cards like that. Like I think a side deck like for a deck like this kind of builds itself. But if you want any pointers, let me know. And yeah, I think that's about it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks again to Jorge and BonBon for creating and letting me show off this deck. And I'll catch you guys next time.